Hello Internet, I've just filled up the car, and by the way I always say hello Internet, but hello Internet, and I hope you're doing well. If so, post it below. I've just filled up the car right up to the brim because I've got quite an interesting trip ahead, because I'm on my way to Ingolstadt for a couple meetings and quite a few other exciting things. So stay tuned, should be fun. And oh god, I love road trips, especially in, yes, you know what it is. Anyhow, let's have fun, and away we go. So it's yeah, 5 hours, about 5 hours after we spoke last, like at the petrol station in Vienna, and I've just arrived in Ingolstadt, and oh boy, was that an eventful ride. I mean, always every ride is eventful and exciting and fun, but this was a bit different because it was well, quite special, because there's a screen in here which is like usually used, you know, like for navigation and so on, which you can see here. And what I didn't know is it can also give you warnings for occurrences, and I wasn't aware of that. So I have to say, like, I really love this car, but I love it a bit more even now, because it said suddenly, and I didn't know the car could do it, attention, there's a ghost driver. Or in other words, you know, like there's a driver going on the wrong direction on the Autobahn in your vicinity, actually on your, well, on your where you're intending to go. And I was like, what? And looking at it and going like, what does that mean? And so it said like kind of between this place and that place, and I'm not that familiar with the names, so suddenly I figured it out, and it said stay on the right lane and be cautious. And wow, that's a bit of a different feeling. And later on I worked out, like, how should I say, it had given me the warning that it was actually happening on the other lane, but it took me a second to actually realize it, because it just said ghost driver, attention, go on the right lane and stay attentive. Because the thing is, like, let's be honest, the Audi RS6 is like a big car, it's a very safe car, and I feel super safe in it. But if you were to hit a ghost driver head on, no matter how slow you are going, you don't know how fast they're going, that's pretty much it, I think. So, wow, I can only say that little warning is quite something, and what a car that it can also do that. That was exciting. So I've just arrived in Ingolstadt in my favorite hotel, and not favorite hotel, but favorite hotel in Ingolstadt, which is always a bit home. And yeah, the other thing was totally different. Might sound like a 12-year-old, but it's something I've been attempting to do to kind of reach 300, and I didn't quite manage, but I managed 296. This car can go 305, so yeah, I'll have to manage. But not in this car, because this was actually the last big road trip in this car, because I'm in Ingolstadt not just to have a bunch of meetings, but to actually give it back. And what can I say, it's grown very closely to my heart. Yeah, even now after this little warning incident, it's even more special to me. Like, every car is special, but this is like really, really special. And a fun fact I think I haven't told you, when I collected this car, so I'm sitting there at Audi and signing the papers, and the guy who's handing it out to me is saying like, I have one question. And that was, what's the last car you drove? And I was like, yeah, but that's not too important. He was like, no, but we need it for statistics. And the funny thing is, the last car I actually had or owned before this was a car, was a Japanese car that had done 160,000 kilometers, and which was built in 1992. So I was like, suddenly, I'm not going to name the brand, but it was a fun car. But so I say like brand XYZ from 1992, and I've got all the people going like, looking at me, not in a bad way, but I felt awkward. And he goes like, yep, so you've somewhat improved. So this was like my first real new car, special car, and I mean, what an incredible car it's been. I've in the last couple of months, last 3 months or something, I've traveled close to 9,000 kilometers, and I have to say, always on paper, it's been one of my dream cars, maybe the dream car, and after having it, holy shit, it is. It's just an incredible car. It's an incredible daily driver. It's an incredible machine if you stretch its legs. I mean, at 296 today, and yesterday I had my dog in the boot, and a couple other people, and probably there's a video you probably saw last week or next week, I'm unsure. I had my fellow board members in this car, and we tried a 0 to 100 in 3.7 seconds. And then again, it's just such an incredible, comfortable car. It's an incredibly safe car. It's just such a fun car, and every time you start it off, it just kind of roars into life, and I get this big smile. What a car it is. Funny thing is also, I wasn't aware what it actually means to drive such a car, because you've just got people suddenly taking pictures of it or looking at it. People that know what it is. Other people that don't know what it is go like, yes, it's a white hatchback, which it is as well. But what a car. But I have to hand it back tomorrow. But you know how it is. Things always start and things always end. And I know some of you saying, yes, you're an Audi brand ambassador, you have to say that. No, I actually don't have to say that. There's no rules that I have to say it's an amazing car. I've just come to the conclusion it is. And quoting Mr. JWW, who I think is an incredible YouTuber, an incredible car person on YouTube. If you don't know him, just check him out. He's a huge fan of the Audi RS6. And he has that term, smiles per gallon. Oh boy, does this car offer a lot of smiles per gallon, and yeah, fun. Now, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to check into the hotel, and looking forward to, yeah, relaxing evening. Going to hit the sauna, and have to wash the car tomorrow before I hand it in. And yeah, I'll speak to you then. So, yeah, what a car. So before I hand back the car, I have to wash it, and like every time I'm in one of these gadgets, I kind of feel like a 6-year-old, somewhat amused, somewhat interested, and I always kind of expect water to come in. I don't know why, it obviously doesn't, but it just sounds so funny. And I don't know, I think it's so important to be in touch with your inner 12-year-old, usually also 6-year-old. But yeah, so it's important to get the car all nice and shiny before I hand it back. And yeah, the beautiful car deserves it, doesn't it? Okay, so I've just driven the last meters, and before I switch off the engine, I have to be a hoon one last time. Just never gets old. Okay, time to give this car back. That was fun. Yes. So I've just switched off the car last time, and down in the garage at Audi in Ingolstadt is kind of where you hand back the cars. She's been washed one last time, and I have to admit I kind of feel a little sad because yeah, it's been fun. But this car was actually not the entire thing bit. But to be honest, I do have a little something in my hand. New plates. See, this car was always considered an, let's call it, intermediate solution. Because quite frankly, Audi told me, look, select a car, as you know in the other video, and I selected a car, but you would have to wait 3 to 4 months until it's ready. And I was like, okay, that's a long wait. And they said, yes, 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 we know. Let us give you a car while you're waiting for your car. Now, this is a car. In other words, this is not my car. Because right now, I'm going to collect my car. Because that's why I'm not as sad as you would think. Because I've been able to spec it, prepare it just the way exactly I always wanted it. And in a couple of minutes, I shall pick it up. And I'm really excited because this is a car I've spec'd a gazillion times, long before I ever got into contact with Audi. And I can remember sitting in our first office and having a long way to go, and just, you know, in between 1 o'clock in the morning, being tired and whatever, and just kind of out of a motivation, just have fun speccing this type of car. And over years, it was just something I did, I don't know, hundreds of times, and I'm a couple of minutes away from actually seeing this car, this spec, and wow, should be fun. Still sad to say goodbye because what an incredible car it's been, but bring on the new car.